Hello, hello, welcome to another episode of Umineko. Um, we are on, I believe, episode 11 of End of the Golden Witch, the fifth arc out of 8. Oh boy, we're getting there. We might get to episode 6 today. I don't know that for sure. It's been a busy day, but now you're relaxed and chill. Nice. Yes, the battle between Wet Skeleton 1 and Wet Skeleton 2. I stand by what I said. Actually, Lamafort, who drops by sometimes, agrees with me that skeletons are in fact wet and that people are basically wet skeletons. So, yeah. And she works with like bones and stuff. So, if anyone knows, I had it confirmed by a professional. Wet skeletons. Anyway. Okay, first order of the business was we skipped the intro. And then we stopped the intro from repeating constantly. And then I put my eye patch on because I feel like it today. They had, real world wait, because, yeah, I was correct. Hey, hey Mr. Cat. That's how I'm gonna keep you two apart for now. Hi, how are you doing? How's it going? Yeah, we have two cats in here now. Which is very amusing to me. Listen, you can never have enough stray cats in your channel. Well, you probably could, but I'm not complaining. Okay, so let us start off with... Sorry, I'm laughing, but I'm not going to explain why. Nah, I think this is enough cats for now. I need to stop. I need to be serious right now because content warning. Content warning for Umineko. This arc in particular. Character deaths, detailed descriptions of gore and body horror, child abuse, discussions and mentions of suicide and misogyny. Most of these aren't going to be super apparent in this episode, I don't think. I'm gonna have to redo a little bit of the content warning for episode 6 once we get to that. So I'll repeat the newer one if we make it that far today. I don't know if we will. But this episode, as in the stream episode, is gonna focus on I should start at where we, I should start at the beginning. Not the beginning. There's no time for that. Last time, our protagonist, Battler, fucking died. I cried. Because of course I did. He died on like a metaphorical level because he stopped thinking I can't solve this mystery. And that basically killed him. However, with some help from his friends, he started thinking again, started going back through all the games, and suddenly it hit him. I understand. I have figured out the mystery. The biggest mystery of all. And in doing so, he has become the territory lord of the game board, which is basically he's taken over from Beatrice, right? He's now the witch slash sorcerer in command because he has solved the mystery. Yes. Okay, so he was pinned down by a red sword, Delanor's sword, and it's now his, the sword, and it is gold. So that's badass. Basically, Battler wakes up after dying and comes back to life like a phoenix, kinda. And then starts a theory battle with Delanor, claiming that he is the culprit. At that point, Erika interjects and's like, that causes a lot of holes in this story, and challenges Battler to a fight, and that's where we left off. We went through the beginning for about 30 minutes. Do you want to share what you figured out, Kat, or are you gonna keep it to yourself? Feel free to share. It's okay if you don't wanna. Also, if I made some audio changes, so if the music is too loud, please let me know. That's what Kinzo said. Oh, do share if you want. I'm just taking a quick sip of tea. You think they're the... Interesting. That's all I can say, because literally any reaction from me is, you know, gonna potentially spoil things. That's very interesting. Alright. Mr. Cat, please. Also, maybe... Yes, no reaction. Oh my god. Okay. Focus. Also, I put these on YouTube, so... yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Alright, let's do a little bit of... No, I'm just gonna start. I was gonna be fancy and like redo the bit from last time, but I need to warm up my voice a little bit. In her hand, there appeared a scythe, like one Grim Reaper might hold. Goddamn. Bad start. A ruthless scythe for reaping everything that threatened her theory. That's all the warming up chance I get.
It's only possible for the crimes to have taken place during a single hour after midnight. During that 1 hour, you were in the dining hall of the mansion. Therefore, it was impossible for you to commit the crimes.
God, she's scared. This sprite scares me. Oh shit. It has not been specified that the time of death was during the single hour after midnight. Therefore, it's possible that the crimes didn't occur between midnight and 1 AM. Oh my fuck! Okay, that's so cool. Sorry, I'm not sorry, that was amazing.
I'll speak exclusively about the murders in the cousin's room. It is impossible for the crime to have been committed in the cousin's room between 1 AM and the time of the crime's discovery. Glenor, now. Nox's 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. If the crime actually was carried out in the cousin's room, clues must have been shown. Because clues were not given to the detective, Lady Erika, who was on the watch for any abnormalities inside that room until morning, such a crime is impossible. The time of the crime discovery refers to the point at which I let out a scream and everyone gathered there. Even if it was impossible to kill them before that point, it was possible to kill them afterwards. He's finally thinking. Battler used a blue flash to deflect both of the red truths that Erika and Glenor had flung at him. Which was, up until now, not a thing that you could do. Erika's eyes went wide. After all, what he had said was completely absurd. At that time, they still hadn't been killed, even though corpses were lying there with their necks sliced open. The deaths of the four in the cousin's room have been declared with the red truth. Are you trying to use a witch illusion? Are you trying to resurrect George and the others to use the concept of magic even though they were dead at the time?
I see. Since you believe they were dead by that point, it must look to you as though the dead are being brought back to life. So this will probably be magic to you. In that case, I won't be the one to take the next shot at you.
Shut it. How often do I have to say it? The deaths of the four in the cousin's room have been declared with the red truth, and their dead bodies were witnessed by a large number of people. And it's already been declared with the red truth that no examination of any corpse is ever mistaken.
Take that, dead people. Erica, you're such a bit... Oh. Sorry, it's my boy. It's my boy. And it's my favorite song in the whole fucking series. I'm gonna... My tea's getting cold. I need to take a quick break to, simp. He's so fucking cool. To what point in time did that red truth refer? Have you forgotten, miss? The fierce shower of red was blocked by a magical barrier set up by Ronave, who suddenly appeared right in front of Battler. Now that Beato is gone, the demons shouldn't have been able to manifest themselves in the real world. However, he existed here, and calmly dealt with Erika's attack. I'm hyped.
You, Ronove, how did you get here? Well, who cares? This all works out nicely. Now there's no need to go looking for you. I'll capture you here and deny your existence too.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'll leave it to you. Teach her that you can't control everything with a single, arrogant truth. Yes, Your Majesty. Well then, allow me to spar with you for a while. Go ahead, miss.
The red truth pronouncing them dead refer to what point in time, then, according to you? Are you saying you can pinpoint that? You can't pinpoint it, so you can't disprove that it declared them dead at the time of the crime's discovery.
When this court was opened, Lady Lambda Delta made a proclamation. She said this was a 24-hour answer session or midnight answer session. I'm not sure where they're going, but okay. This was a midnight answer session. They were pronounced dead at midnight on the second day. In other words, at the end of the game. That does not deny the possibility that the murder occurred after the morning of the second day, after the so-called discovery of the crime. Yep, that's true.
Then, you're saying that the victims were alive at that time? Even though their necks were sliced open?
It is a technicality, it is true. Did you see that yourself, Miss Detective? True, it has been said that no examination of any corpse is ever mistaken, no matter who performs it. But it has never been said that there is a rule against describing something other than a corpse as a corpse. Erika swung her scythe recklessly, but Ronave blocked everything with elegant gestures made with the shield on one of his hands.
So, at that point in time, no one was dead? Are you telling me There weren't even wounds on their necks? But in that case, why did Balor scream?
Never leave your feet unprotected, little girl.
Shinomiya Kinzo is already dead at the starting time for all games. Huh?
Yeah, actually... Shit. No, the green text? Hold on. I remember how this works. We did this last time as well. I'm hitting the wrong button. Very scatterbrained today. Green text means that there's like an additional bit of trivia for us. I think I skipped some of these on accident. Oh, I don't think I did actually. Keep your feet protected is a reference to a line in Dragon Ball that achieved meme status in Japanese, spoken by Kami/Heroes/Shen in a fight against Yamcha. So in this case, Erika's Yamcha. Just so we know, yeah. Okay, but now I feel compelled to draw that, so I'm gonna make a quick note of that. In case I forget. Because I feel like that would be very funny. No, not her feet. You know the Yamcha meme where he's like dunked into the earth and just lying there? That, but with Erika. Not her feet. That would be very specific. Anyway, tangent over.
Huh?
Alright. I'll go look up the picture at some point and I'll send it. A pitch black hole opened beneath Erika's feet and swallowed her up. She could probably see through to the other side of the hole. It was the same thing you'd see if you looked down through the skylight on the ceiling of this cathedral.
Leah!
Yes. Virgilia could already be seen in midair inside the cathedral. Smothered mate. As Erika fell from the heavens, Virgilia was right below her and thrust upwards with her divine spear glowing blue.
Shouldn't you rethink your reasoning? Kinzo doesn't exist. Therefore, the way for the bodies to disappear in your theory breaks down.
Correct. Unless someone other than Kinzo makes the corpses disappear, your theory unravels. Gamut?
This is nothing.
What does gamut mean? Is that a typo? Sorry. Virgilia's blue divine spear skewered and pinned Erika in midair. Erika struggled, filled with hatred, but she couldn't get it out easily. Then, all around her, several small, fast things clanged off the walls and surrounded her. Please don't all talk. 7 people manifested at once. If they all talk, they're all gonna talk. Then I have to remember the... It's always hard to remember which I gave which voice to.
We are the 7 Sisters of Purgatory. Know this, foe of our master. You lowly paperweights. After George's death, his body was never moved. After Jessica's death, her body was never moved. After Maria's death, her body was never moved. After Rosa's death, her body was never moved. After Genji's death, his body was never moved. After Krause's death, his body was never moved. Therefore, the bodies couldn't have vanished after being discovered. Your theory about Kinzo carrying the bodies away breaks down. They all talk. Erika screams. And so what? Even without Kinzo, I can explain how the corpses I have to revise my theory. Me, the detective? Even with Kinzo's existence denied, Erika was probably capable of escaping this pin by making only a small revision to her theory. However, to her, having to revise a theory she had already created was extremely humiliating. Looks like you toyed around with her plan too much in order to corner Natsuhi like that. You played around too much with your reasoning. At this point, your master isn't the only one who can speak of Kinzo's death with the red truth. This is what you get for playing around in the witch's darkness. Know that, Furudo Erika. Of course, even Erika had doubted Kinzo's existence from the beginning. However, in the trial that had taken place before, no one except Firmcastle, as well as Lambda Delta, who was going along with her, had been capable of denying Kinzo's existence. And because of the willful silence of those two, she had been free to shape the truth about Kinzo in any way she desired. She never expected that Battler would become a witch, a sorcerer, capable of using red without proof. However, she had her own Inquisitor who could also use red without proof to counter. Delanor? Nox's second. It is forbidden for supernatural agencies to be employed as a detective technique. If you intend on showing that Kinzo has died with the red truth, I demand that you present evidence of a human truth supporting such a statement. Forgive me, you crazy old bastard. Go forth, Battler. Step over my dead body. Ugh. That's not a pleasant sentence to say. That's it. Presentation of evidence. I present a body which can be identified as Ushiromiya Kinzo. Can you prove that this is Ushiromiya Kinzo's body? No matter how much it resembles him, unless you can prove that it is him, it is possible to claim that it is a substitute corpse from someone else. Can you show that it is Kinzo's body with human truth alone? In this one case, I will treat any rebuttal that uses only the red truth as invalid. Ooh. Oh goddamn, Lambda, please. Please leave me alone. Easily the hardest voice to do. Oh. Any counter with the red truth will be invalid? That's novel. Why is she like that? I made her like this. It may be true that the existence of third-party corpses has already been denied with the red. However, if saying that in red is forbidden, Battler has nowhere to turn to run to, even.
Should have got honey and lemon tea. Yeah, I have mint, so that's close, you know, but... Oh, thank you. I think it fits her, and then it's extra scary when she does sound interested. Because, Burn kind of terrifies me, I'm not gonna lie. At least with Lambda, you know she's crazy. You know she's out there, I guess, and Burn's like, seems like she could be an ally, I guess. But she's just as bad as Lambda. She just hides it better. Okay, tea finished. Sorry about that. That's right. In this closed-off Rokanjima, there is no objective way to show that this corpse is grandfather's. And that itself suggests the possibility that this corpse is a body double. This unidentifiable body cannot serve as proof of Kinzo's death. I remember some stuff about Kinzo that makes this a little tricky. Oh I take... Too late, I already said it.
Checkmate. My theory is rock solid.
Said what? Okay, yes, that's the spirit. Delanor had sealed off the Red Truth as a means of proving that Kinzo's corpse had been shown. Even with the power of witches, Battler couldn't argue back. How are you going to prove that the corpse is Kinzo's if the Red Truth is sealed? It's impossible. It can't be done.
Not with red or blue, right?
Sorry. That didn't sound like Lambda at all. Alright. I guarantee that this is the corpse of Ushiromiya Kinzo. We have a new text alert. Then, when Delanor met with Balor's golden flash, she was unable to fully block it with either her red longsword or her blue short sword, and she was blown backwards into the air. It was a direct hit, without any miscalculation. Though she had always seemed as firm as a small giant before now, she was finally blasted away and slammed against the wall as though she was the slender girl she appeared to be.
Delanor, what are you...
A splendid gold truth. It is valid.
Gold truth?
The golden longsword, which had been drawing red and blue trails before now, finally drew a trail which retained its divine golden color. The truth it showed was neither red nor blue. It was gold truth. What is that? Lambda, does this follow the rules?
Yes. Gold truth. Valid. The gold truth can only be used by the territory lord of this world. No. Only by the game master himself. What did you say?
Gold truth. A divine truth woven in a different fashion than the red truth. Its strength is on par with the red truth. It may sometimes be inferior, but it is sometimes superior. That brilliant shine is the proof that Balor-kun has truly understood Beato. I've shown it. Shown that the corpse is grandfather's. Yes. Gold truth. Accepted. Unless Lady Erica's theory undergoes some revision, it will be destroyed. What the... Erica cried out in pain. It wasn't the pain of her body being impaled. It was the pain of her own theory being defiled. I see. I thought this was nothing but a mishmash of narrative tricks. Just when did it become... What a crazy string of great works.
Valor, it would be beyond boorish to say more. Even without saying another word, you've made your truth about the corpse's disappearance fully understood. Yes, what you're thinking of doesn't conflict with any of the red in this trial so far. I completely understand and accept your truth based around the revenge of the man from 19 years ago. I proclaim your truth established.
What the...
Why is that, great Lady Lambda Delta? He still hasn't explained everything. I still have many ways to argue back, like Hideyoshi's locked room, the seal in Natsuhi's room, and the button in the closet. You still think it's possible for you to argue back against Valor?
Only Erica, the one who was supposedly so intelligent, couldn't understand. She couldn't understand that Valor had already found the real truth. Grandfather's absence has therefore been proven, and the dishonorable relationship between Aunt Natsuhi and grandfather has been removed from consideration. Aunt Natsuhi is pure and faithful. I won't permit this vulgar tale you're all so fond of. Valor can... Furthermore, because doubts have been raised about the time of death for all who have died so far, the alibis for everyone besides Aunt Natsuhi are null and void. The argument that crimes couldn't have been committed by anyone except Aunt Natsuhi no longer stands. Glenor, who must have risen to her knees at some point, slowly stood up. The flash from the golden longsword was still carved deep into her chest. Though pain didn't show in her expression, her awkward movements clearly showed how serious the damage she had taken was. Even though she herself knew that this spelled the total end of the match, Glenor didn't abandon her duty. However, in the cousin's room, you witnessed dead bodies which were impossible to misidentify. Are you trying to say that was a falsehood? Nox's 7th. It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit. The detective is obligated to have an objective point of view. Your theory violates this obligation. Furuto Erika is the detective in this game, not me. And by Nox's 9th, observers are permitted to put forward their own conclusions and interpretations. Nox's 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. Until now, you have been the detective. Was it ever shown that you were not the detective this time, and that you were an observer with a subjective viewpoint? Unless it was, you do not have the rights to falsify your point of view. In this game, when I figured out the device of the Epitaph's riddle, I witnessed Grandfather. As has already been shown in red, Grandfather doesn't exist. It was impossible for me to witness him. Therefore, it has already been shown that my viewpoint wasn't objective. It is possible that it was just a sheet or something fluttering in the wind and rain, which you mistook for Kinzo. It cannot be used as foreshadowing to form a basis for Nox's ninth. Mistaking things for something else is a right permitted to all observers. There's the red truth which Beato showed during the 4th game. No person would mistake Ushinomiya Kinzo by sight. It's the red truth Beato used to counter my blue truth claim that someone disguised themselves as father, and thereby made it seem as though he had appeared. In other words, on this island, anything which might lead someone to visually mistake something for grandfather, including someone else pretending to be grandfather, cannot ever work. The scheme Aunt Natsuhi once put together to make it seem as though grandfather was alive only involved her saying things like, "He was here just a second ago," or "He's in his study alone now," cleverly exploiting the relative's blind spots to pretend he was there. She never tried to make anyone mistake something they saw for grandfather himself, so there are no contradictions. If she had tried to dress one of the servants in grandfather's robe, it would probably have been seen through in an instant. It has been guaranteed that none of the characters in this tale would mistake something for grandfather by sight. If someone still claims to have seen grandfather, it becomes a falsehood. Everyone is permitted the right to falsify their observations, but there is one person who does not have that right, and that person is the detective. Because of the right granted by Nox's ninth, everyone is allowed to mistake a sheet in the wind for something else and talk mistakenly about what they saw. However, mistaking it for grandfather in particular is not permitted in this game due to the red truth. So, once you have claimed to have seen Kinzo, it was no longer misrecognition, but intentional. In other words, this disproves the objectivity of your viewpoint, is what you are saying. In this case, unintentional misrecognition is not permitted by the rules of this game. However, it is possible to intentionally lie about seeing something you never saw. And that is an action not permitted to a detective burdened with the responsibility of an impartial perspective. One of these days, I will learn to say the word detective without stuttering. Forgive my crazy argument. This is the end. No, it is all right. I don't think I have a choice. I can only keep it. Also, thank you. If a man like you had been in the world... Oh, this is Delanor. If a man like you had been in the world, you would surely have protected the fragile truth from any kind of arrogance. Faced with the tyranny of a single plausible truth claiming to be the sole truth and exterminating all the fragile others, you would surely have protected the real truth. Balor's golden longsword drew a massive blue arc as though splitting the heavens. I am glad to have been able to fight with you. Therefore, my perspective in this particular game is based upon the 9th commandment, not the 7th. The fact that I claim to have seen grandfather is proof. The noise which rang out across the cathedral was the sound of Delanor's longsword clattering to the floor. Simply letting go of that was the same as resigning to the proud Delanor. Though the blue trail Balor had drawn was aiming right for the top of Delanor's head, it stopped a hair's breadth away. If it hadn't, Delanor would probably have been annihilated without leaving a single scrap of flesh behind. resign. I give up on denying your truth. I've paid my debt. My respect goes to your father. The Decalogue was neither arrogant nor judgmental. Respect to my father. Delano sat down on the floor and completely abandoned her will to fight.
What are you doing, Delano? Shameful. Pathetic. You stupid half-wit of a murder doll.
I added 2 words that weren't in there. I can't read.
You've tainted the honor of your own father. Shame on you. You still call yourself Mystery's Wedges? You're surrendering to magic? The history of the mystery genre forbids it.
You're the one who doesn't understand a thing about mysteries. If you see mysteries as nothing more than a weapon with which to sneer at your opponents intellectually, I won't let you ever speak of them again.
Battler?
I present a truth that conflicts with yours. Aunt Natsuhi was threatened by a phone call over the internal line made by the man from 19 years ago, me. His goal was to make Aunt Natsuhi look like a murderer. From the beginning, this has all been a drama of revenge, intent on framing Aunt Natsuhi.
That's wrong. It's a drama of revenge against the Ushinomiya family planned by Natsuhi. Your theory outright opposes mine.
Can you still not pull out the blue spear that's sticking through you?
Yep, good point. Erika, you haven't given me a single way for the corpses to disappear that doesn't involve Kinzo. Your theory is being denied as I speak. Tick-tock. This spear's just... You paperweights. Get out of my way.
The deeply piercing blue spear and the 7 red stakes tormented her theory. They won't come out. They won't come out. I acknowledge the mistakes in Erika's reasoning and the need for revision.
What the... My master!
Watching Erika's face contort with pain as she struggled to escape from the spear, Berncastle declared this with a disgusted expression. For all intents and purposes, it was as if Berncastle had acknowledged Erika's defeat herself. With eyes of shock and despair, Erika looked up at the master who no longer had any confidence in her victory. I don't give a damn about your pride. How long do you intend to shame yourself like that? You, my double, who's been granted the same blue hair as me. How long do you intend to hang there, pierced through like that? Do I really have to descend myself? I've changed my mind. Having a peace is a waste of time. What a pain. What a pain. What a total pain. Who needs a peace? I should just get rid of it. What a terrible, regretful, discouraging, disappointed, misguided mistake.
Get on with it, you filth. Didn't I tell you to revise your pathetic attempt at reasoning? Yes, my master. I'll revise it. I'll revise my theory.
As Erika's face twisted in humiliation and tears streamed from her eyes, she withdrew and revised her own theory in accordance with her master's order. Mumbling quietly, she made various revisions with the blue truth, had them acknowledged by Lambda Delta, and finally had the blue spear smashed and was freed. Though that blue truth did indeed explain how the bodies had disappeared, it was truly shabby reasoning that reeked of desperation. Bye, Erika.
My master. I've taken it out. My theory is perfect.
Are you kidding me? It's woefully pathetic.
But I'll forgive you. Because your face and your theory are both so shameful it's funny. Erica was taunted by her master, who wore an ugly expression. She thrashed about on the floor, crying bitter tears. The wounded Lenore stepped out before her, as though shielding her, and she spoke to Berncastle, as well as Battler. Regardless of how shabby it might be, Lady Erica's revised truth is valid. Yeah, that's right. Regardless of my truth, yours can exist at the same time. That's what this world is like. No one can disprove them, so even if there are various truths, and even if they contradict each other wildly, they can exist at the same time. Here, as many truths exist as you can imagine. No one can unilaterally deny them. Yes, that is true. I will not allow anyone to deny Lady Erica's truth. Lenore. As long as I am here, I will protect that truth. No matter how shabby it might be, I will not laugh at that truth. The words of Lenore, whom Erica had previously looked down upon, led Erica to once again thrash about on the floor, sobbing. And because no unique truth exists, everything is covered in darkness. Therefore, although both my theory and Erica's are impossible to deny, neither is a single truth. They are uncertain things, neither of which can be denied, and neither of which is absolute. And as long as there's no definite answer, the witch illusion still exists. It isn't Erica who's allowed to expose that, and it isn't any of the rest of you either. It's me alone. I won't let anyone expose Beatrice's illusion except me.
The verdict is revised. Because of the truth presented by Ushinomiya Battler, Erica's truth is no longer unique. However, Erica's truth is impossible to disprove. Therefore, both of their truths exist together. The conclusion of the fifth game is rescinded. The game goes back to being even. And I transfer the position of Game Master from myself to the Golden Sorcerer, Ushinomiya Battler. Ushinomiya Battler, step forward. I appoint you as the new Game Master. Will you accept? You will, right? Do it, you new Endless Witch.
Yeah, I'm the new Game Master. I'll weave the sixth game. Erica, let's settle things for good this time. Stand up.
Yes, you bet I'll stand. You will rule, giving me a chance to recover from this humiliation. My master, please give me an opportunity to fight with Battler again in the sixth game.
Sure. Of course I'll give you a chance.
Wow, incredible. For you to give someone a chance. Isn't this a miracle? Witch of Miracles, Berncastle?
Erica, you've miraculously managed to escape with your life. In the sixth game, Balor's game, you had better expose the truth no matter what. Unless you want to be tossed aside into the darkness of oblivion.
Yes, my master. Delano.
Of course. I will give it my all in the next game as well.
I won't pretend to be a guest any longer. Together with Delanor, I'll tear your game to bits.
Sure. I'll invite you to my sixth game.
Sorry, but that title of yours, Checkmate of the, isn't cutting it.
It's your game. You can decide the name yourself. Just bring it on. I, Fururo Erika, am a detective before I am a witch. I acknowledge you as the new master of this game, and I declare war. I swear I'll expose everything you tried to hide. I'll kill you. Golden Sorcerer, Ushinomiya Battler.
Yeah, come at me with all you've got. Fururo Erika. Just watch, Beato. I'll take charge of your game. And in this next game, I'll prove that I completely understand all of your riddles. Sorry, just rocking out. Sorry about the auto mod. So there you have it, I think. Yeah, that wraps it up for episode 5. It is starting to come together. And this is not the song, no, but it's a pretty good song. Gosh, okay. So what I'm gonna do, like I always do when we do a double episode, I'm gonna wrap this up for the VOD and then throw the break screen up real quick and then pretend that I'm starting a new stream. And thank you for summoning the butterfly cat. I will also drink some water. I can't save at the moment because the game has been finished. I'm glad you enjoyed the butterfly. I worked hard on that. It was fun to work on, but not easy. All right, I've updated the I should have left this for later. I've updated our content warnings for next time. It's gonna be yeah, well, you'll see. Anyway, yeah, episode 5 is one of my favorites, which I think I'm kind of in the minority when it comes to that. It's part because I love Natsuhi a lot, and you know, she's in this a lot, she gets a lot of focus, and it's also because, yeah, last episode, you know, you had that line, and then I knew. Since I played this, that has been just sort of like embedded into my brain. Like that I was thinking of that line when I was first starting to do these streams, like what if I get to that one day? And here we are. So that's crazy. So thank you all for being on this journey with me. Yeah, so for the VOD squad, that wraps up episode, arc 5, I should say. End of the Golden Witch. And next time we will be starting on arc 6, Dawn of the Golden Witch. So yeah, thank you for watching, and have a great one, and see you on the next, see you in the next arc. Okay, bye-bye. I forgot to set up my break screen. There we go. Yeah, I hit the milestone. It's I did not think I would be able to do this series for as long as I have been. I figured, I'll do a couple episodes, then people are gonna be unable to keep following it. I'm gonna keep getting like 0 views. And I'll be, kind of put out and sad that nobody wants to read this story with me. And then I'll quit. But no, no, that did not happen. And I'm extremely grateful for it. Let's see. Because with this, we can also update the playlist. So now we're gonna, before and after the streams, when I'm running the timer, the clock, and that stuff, we're gonna get episode 6 songs in there too. Because I've been keeping it like up to date with the episode that we're playing. As like a fun little tidbits, and plus so that you don't get spoiled super hard. Episode 6 has some great stuff. Looking forward to that. Yeah, it's also just kind of fun to have it like kind of evolve over the streams, I guess. And yeah, I don't know, I just think it's neat. Okay. I will be right back. Speaking of music, I'm gonna play something real quick. Oh, nice. BRB. Thank you for letting me know. Alright, I am back. You didn't miss anything, don't worry. Just, again, I'm very scatterbrained today. Also, yeah, water. It's my second favorite drink after coffee. Alright. I'm gonna pretend in a second that this is like the start of a new video because it will be the start of a new video. Ow. Oh, my neck just made a noise that like sounded like snapping a cracker in half. Let me just check my posture. Being scatterbrained is your life's work. Hell yeah. I dabble. Alright. No joke, I actually do have that, so. Drink milk, kids. Not milk, but like, you know, dairy products. If you don't, you're gonna fuck up your bones real bad. Thankfully, they can like do stuff about that with pills and whatnot. So it's not the other world. Yes, exactly. Vitamin D also helps a lot. Alrighty. I'm ready to do some reading. Yeah, because we've got a full hour for this. I'm gonna try to wrap up around midnight. We'll see how close I stick to that or not. Anyway. Alright, welcome to the next arc of Umineko. Dawn of the Golden Witch, Episode 6, Arc 6. I am hyped. Because of course I am. This is gonna be great. And confusing. A lot of interesting things happen in this episode. And I look forward to showing you all. Before we start properly, I should start us off with the content warning for this specific arc. I may adjust this further down the line, because I did check for these, but I'll do another more thorough check. But this is good for this episode. Content warning for Umineko. Erika. She goes a little bit nuts in this one. And considering her status as an intellectual rapist, like she's gonna go she's gonna be really like cruel and mean to people. So, and she's gonna be creepy. No actual rape, don't worry about that. Character deaths, detailed descriptions of gore and body horror, child abuse, discussion and mentions of suicide, and misogyny are all still applicable and will be present throughout this arc. Like they have been. And since we are starting on a new game board, I think a summary isn't super necessary, but little reminder, Battler is now the Endless Sorcerer. He has taken over the game board. Erika will be the detective, and she got thoroughly humiliated last time, so she has something to prove to Burn Castle. And yeah, we're gonna rewind it. We're gonna start again on the 4th of October. And let's find out what Battler's game board looks like. Episode 6, Dawn of the Golden Witch. Good morning. It is at last time for the curtain to rise on Battler-sama's game. Let's observe the fight from the opposite side of the chessboard. Can Battler-sama succeed in playing the demanding role of the game master? There is no longer any difficulty level. At this point, These are not hints, but a confession. Let's go. This story is undoubtedly nothing more than fantasy. It could not possibly have any relation to real persons, organizations, places, or events. I would like to remind you that I do, in fact, own multiple copies of these games. Yeah, we're gonna unravel some stuff, for sure. Though I will say, there will not be clues. This is a confession, yes, but as a reminder, don't stop thinking. So I'm just gonna check a thing real quick. Okay. A beautiful glow shone in from the skylight over the grand cathedral. The place was somehow different from the way it had been during the witch's trial. The decorations had changed. The several pleasantly sparkling white ribbons were paper thin, but they hung beautifully in the air. Flowers were arranged all over in a way that would make any place look cheerful. It was like how a single drop of impure water could spoil an entire cask of wine. Just the presence of the flowers, the ribbons, and the red carpet that ran down the center of the room made it hard to believe that this was the same place Ushinomiya Natsuhi had been falsely accused of a crime. It had truly become a wedding chapel. I forgot these two show up. I don't have voices. We're off to a good start. New character. Who this? Oh my god. Okay. I should have thought about this way beforehand. I can neither confirm nor deny any of that, just so you know. Love is generous. Love is merciful. I'm just gonna be dramatic about it.
Love does not envy. It does not boast.
These words, spoken by two demons who seemed to be in charge of this gathering, were part of a ceremony for making an oath of love before the eyes of God. Of course, in this wedding celebrated by demons, there was no priest in sight. Instead, there stood the witch who controls miracles. In sickness and in health. Yeah, a wife's true job is to be supportive in times of sickness. Isn't that right, Erika?
Yes, my master.
That looks good on you. What a fitting outfit for the one who has conquered the bridegroom.
I'm honored, my master.
The bride standing on the carpeted path was Furudo Erika. The groom's face couldn't be seen. The bride's outfit was, without a doubt, a pure white wedding dress. The bride's veil represented both the white of God's blessings and the white of the demon's cruelty. A great many goat nobles, witches, and demons were gathered for this wedding. If only their heads hadn't been those of goats, it would probably have seemed to be a very refined crowd worthy of this great cathedral.
I'd expect no less from you, Vern. Every single thing you come up with is always so screwed up.
wife to support her ailing husband. Isn't that wonderful? It suits you, Erica. And congratulations to you too, Mr. Groom. At that point, Berncastle stared right into the groom's eyes. The groom didn't answer. His eyes were gray. His lips would mutter something from time to time, but no one could tell if the words meant anything. Hey, are you listening? All of you? Oh, that was Bern. She spoke to the groom in the plural. Of course, there was only one groom. And, of course, the gray-eyed groom didn't answer.
You can hear, but you can't answer, right? Don't worry, okay, Balor-san? I'll take everything of yours and trample all over it.
The Witch of Miracles sneered with an evil smile that would make even demons want to avert their gaze. Even that sneer provoked no response from Battler's dim eyes.
People live for the sake of love. Therefore, today you have fulfilled the purpose of your lives. Oh, how great is the power to live, the power of love. I pray that the brightness of this day blesses these two for all time.
Just give it a rest already, you demons. What comes next?
The couple will now make an oath of eternal love. After that, they will exchange rings.
Hello, it's Sam from the future here. To redo some of the reading that I did, because Twitch decided to mute a pretty big chunk of the audio. So that was fun to find out after the fact, but we're just gonna do it again. On Battler's hand was a ring bearing the seal of the one-winged eagle, proof that he was the territory lord of this world. And on Erica's finger was a diamond ring that could not be shattered by any miracle. Diamonds signify an eternal bond. However, in Greek, the word for diamond simply means unbreakable. Erica wasn't vowing to love Balor forever. She just wanted to take Balor as her property for all eternity. This wedding was being performed for the sole purpose of humiliating Balor.
Don't worry, I won't love you forever. After all, the point of the ceremony is to make you submit to me. Your heart will be shut inside an inescapable locked room forever, where I, Fururo Erica, the detective and the Witch of Truth, will command it. Your position as territory lord and your ring will become mine.
Can't get...
What was that?
Can't get out.
Yes, I'll bet you can't get out of that locked room. After all, you made that locked room yourself. You will suffer in that room for all eternity. I'll remain by your side as your wife for eternity, and get to enjoy that look of anguish on your face all by myself. I'll defile you forever. Ishiro a battler.
All that could be heard was the sound of the wind. A sound of misfortune, strong enough to bring sadness and unease to those who heard it. Slowly, I came back to my senses. I finally regained consciousness on top of a bed with a firm mattress. Where was this again? I couldn't remember where this was, but I could vaguely recall that it was very bad for me to be here. The room was dimly lit. And that's where I'll drop us back into the past. Sorry for a little interruption there, but it was that or just no sound for a good 10 minutes. Alright. The room was dimly lit. There was a light on, but that just made the darkness and eeriness of the room more apparent. There were no curtains over the window, but it was too dark outside to see anything beyond it. If I squinted into that pitch blackness, it felt as though I would see the witch of the forest peeking back at me through the darkness. And I averted my gaze from the window in fear. I couldn't see or hear it, but I got the feeling that if I left this room, it would be bright and warm, and someone would be there for me. I have to get to where everyone else is right now. A bad memory from when I was very young began to well up. I was having trouble staying awake during a family gathering, and the next thing I knew, I was lying on a bed in a room I'd never seen before. I have the horrible, painful memory of waking up there feeling incredibly lonely and crying my eyes out. This room. I'm not supposed to be here. I just want out. Once I started to think that way, I didn't want to stay in this room a second longer than I had to. This room scares me. It's creepy. Where is everyone? I want to get out of here right now. I opened the door, trying to leave the room. A pleasant glow snuck in through the crack of the door. As I thought, the corridor was filled with a comforting light. I couldn't actually hear them, but I could sense that far away, people were enjoying themselves. Everyone else must be gathered in the room across from this one. I've been shut up in this lonely, creepy room, all alone. I should go, quickly. It's like 3D and everything. As soon as I thought this, a merciless metallic sound rang out, and the door refused to open any further. The chain had been set. I've always hated chain locks. You can open a normal lock just by twisting. But chain locks are built in a kind of annoying way where it's difficult to undo them easily. So I've hated them since I was very young. See, even this chain is causing me trouble. And I just can't get it undone. Why is this happening? I just want to leave this creepy room right away. Just on the other side of this thin door, everything is bathed in a warm light. I can't undo it. I just can't undo this chain. The more desperate I grew, the more the unsettling darkness of this room seemed to close in on me from behind, and the more frightened I became. Then, I finally noticed. And there was something wrong with this chain. Yes, there is a chain, but this isn't a chain lock. This is just a chain staked into the door so that it can't open any further. In other words, it isn't made to be opened. What the hell's going on? Who'd do something like this, damn it? No matter what I did, no matter how much I struggled, I couldn't pull out the stake or undo the chain or break the mechanism. This door was just a demon's mouth, made to trick me into thinking it would open before crushing my hopes a moment later. Even so, if only I could just open this door somehow, I could get out into that pleasant corridor. This desire forced me to keep my hand glued to the doorknob. But it was useless. Both the chain and the stake were firm, and though they clattered about, there was no chance of them letting the door open any further. Even though I could see the pleasant hallway through the crack, I had no chance of opening the door any further. Maybe someone will come if I yell. Maybe the door can be opened easily from the outside. When I thought this, I tried to call out to someone, but it was as though the wind had been knocked out of me. I could mouth the words, "Someone, come here," but no voice left my lips. What's going on? Someone, come. Why can't I cry out? Help me, help me, help me. Not even being able to say help me out loud scared me more than anything. And if I turned around, the witch gazing into the room from the darkness outside might now be inside the room, standing right behind me. Frightened. Scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Someone help me, someone help me. I can't get out, I can't get out. Let me out of this room. Help me, I'm scared, I'm scared. Let me out, let me out. Help me, help me, help me. Missy, it sounds like they've arrived. Huh? Oh. Oh, it's Amakusa. Goddamn. What did he sound like? Let me try and remember. Amakusa ran his finger down my cheek. I woke in an instant from the doze I had just been in. I glared at Amakusa for waking me up in such a creepy way, but he just played dumb. Don't touch people without their permission, Amakusa. What the fuck? Where is this? It feels like a parlor in the house of some well-off person. Hey Laura, how are you doing? Good evening. Welcome, welcome. But I have no memory of this place at all. Where is this? And why am I... Are you still half asleep, Missy? Yeah, sorry. Where are we? Huh. Apparently, he hadn't expected me to forget something like that just because I wasn't fully awake yet. Hey Chris, how are you doing? Also welcome. Oddly enough, I agreed. Why am I in this parlor that I don't recognize? The sounds of the footsteps of the person or people that Amakusa had mentioned had come right up to the opposite side of the door. I could hear the sound of a conversation. They were probably women. Judging by the coffee and snacks laid in front of me, I was the guest here. In that case, I'd better remember why I came here. Or at least who it was I came to visit. Who am I? Ushinomiya Anje. Who is the man standing behind me? Amakusa Juza. The man who used to be my guard, long ago. He's now the bodyguard Okonogi assigned to me. In that case, after Aunt Ava died, I must have thrown off my pursuers and gone on a journey to find out what happened on that day 12 years ago. Is that what happened? Did I have a memory of this? After a knock, the door opened, and the person I must have come here to meet entered along with a maid. Oh, wonderful. Even after seeing her face, I can't remember who she is. Sorry to have kept you waiting. This is Hachijo Toya. That's a relief. The maid introduced her to me first. And my voice is like collapsing. So I'm gonna drink some water real quick. And we'll save while I'm at it. I know, right? Only 30 voices today. It was a lot less than that. But it was the worst ones. Like the most difficult ones. Some of them anyway. And I finally remembered who she was. She? I was sure it was a he. Excuse me, but are you... New voice time. Uh-oh. Yes, I am Hachijo Toya. The magazines talked about your book signing event. Supposedly, a mysterious male author showed up wearing sunglasses and a mask. Never thought you'd be a woman. What's the deal? That was just a double setup by the editing department. I was the assistant standing behind him at the book signing. Now there's a shock. I haven't read your works, but I'll bet you're even more of a mystery than your books are. Is he flirting? What is this? My readers only pretend to read my books. They buy them just based on the name of the author and the brand, and think that they've actually read them. No matter what I write in my books, they don't truly read anything. They just pretend to read so that they can look smart and knowledgeable and keep up with the current fad. Am I supposed to expose myself to these people? Why indulge such trash? I'm getting into the voice. I see. Looks like you really are the great Hachijo. I'm not gonna comment on any of the things that you're saying. This person is really eccentric. Really is eccentric. There's no doubt about it. This is Hachijo Toya herself. Hachijo Toya is a mystery novelist who's become the center of discussion lately. Although her actual books are also apparently highly praised, it's her mysterious debut that's attracted so much attention towards her lately. Last year, she somehow managed to win several different awards for exceptional mystery novels offered by multiple large publishing companies, submitting each of her works under a different pen name. And after that, several highly regarded anonymous works were discovered, one after another, to have been stories she had written in the past under false names. And her popularity soared as she herself became more mysterious than her books. Despite all of this, the author herself never appeared in public, and everything about her was wrapped in a veil of secrecy. However, just a few days ago, this author had finally made a public appearance for a book signing, showing up with a mask that covered his face and drawing even more public attention. And yet, apparently even that had been a fake. Given this person's radically unconventional track record, it was hardly a surprise to hear her casually insult her fans like this. I know quite a lot about you, too, Uchinomiya Anja-san. The talk shows have been discussing you for some time now. I'm sure you've heard nothing good. Yes, nothing good at all. Apparently, you employ and then fire people on a whim. Think anything can be resolved with money, and are an outlaw and a thug. Yep, sounds about right. However, I happen to like intelligent people like you. Is that why you agreed to meet with me? Exactly.
You're the only person who's managed to spot that Itoiku Kuro 0576, I almost managed, is another pen name used by Hachijo Toya. That's actually pretty impressive. Don't make me do it again. Itoiku Kuro 0576. It was a pretty strange username. However, if you match the Japanese syllables to numbers, you can read it as 110 1996 0576. 11 019 960 576. This massive number. Right, so it's like a whole string of numbers and not just like commas. I can't read. This massive number is equal to 18... I forget how math works. 18 to the 18th power, thank you. 8th power, not 18th. Listen, if numbers are involved, my brain shuts down. So, sorry about that. 18 to the 8th power. In Japanese, Toya no Hachijo. That's how you read Hachijo Toya. Very well done. I was quite impressed. In fact, I was so impressed I decided to let you meet me in person. Welcome to my mansion, child of man. Her manner of speaking was extremely condescending, but perhaps because of her elegant manner, it didn't feel particularly irritating. This person had a sort of majestic grandeur about her, which made that style of speech seem almost natural. At least, that's how it felt to me. In fact, it felt almost as though this was the manifestation of some noble being, who would have no need to show herself before mere humans under normal circumstances. Since I'm not particularly a fan of hers, I guess this is proof that her mysterious charisma really is nothing to be laughed at. However, I didn't come here to talk to Hachijo Toya, the mystery novelist. I'm interested in Itoiku Kuro 0576, the mysterious web author who only releases her works over the internet. Around the Japanese parts of the internet, Itoiku Kuro is an extremely famous witch hunter. However, she isn't a big opinion leader like Professor Otsuki. She's one of those message bottle forgers who are always at the center of vigorous debate. Message bottle forgers are, as the name suggests, people who forge and post the contents of riddle-filled message bottles which purport to tell the story of the Rokunjima incident. Claiming to have discovered a new message bottle, they post either a very similar counterfeit or a new theory with their own interpretation of the truth, claiming that it was written by Ushiromiya Maria. They openly call themselves Ushiromiya Maria, write up a new bizarre tale as if they had been there themselves and knew the truth, and send their stories out into the newest sea that mankind has discovered, the internet, calling them the third or fourth message bottles. All of the first forgers were either simple pranksters or crooks trying to swindle collectors. However, eventually, people who claimed to have solved the riddles of the message bottles' tales and reached the truth started to appear. People who claimed to have solved the riddles of the message bottles' tales and reached the truth started to appear. And they started work creating third and fourth message bottles from Ushiromiya Maria, as though they had moved over to the riddle teller's side. These sentences are kicking my ass a little bit.
these people rewrote the tale of the witch with whatever interpretation they wanted. And every once in a while, certain theories would gather an enormous amount of support on the web. Because of this, some of these creations began to be so widely trusted that they were believed to contain some grain of truth. The more rigid witch hunters openly despised these people, calling them forgers, counterfeiters, or just witches. Though they claimed to have reached the truth, they refused to tell it and created fake message bottles as though testing everyone else. It's no surprise that the serious witch hunters were very annoyed by these forgers. However, there are many people who simply like to entertain themselves with the occult fantasy of Rokujima, and a small number of those accepted these creations as literary works, glad of this expansion to the mysterious tale. Of all the forgers, Naku Koro was the one most highly regarded. End of the Golden Witch. I read that one of yours. It's nice to know you have no qualms about killing off other people's families. Is that why you came all this way? Just to say that? I think not, final descendant of the Ushinomiya family. In her latest forgery, End, she killed off at least 7 of my relatives during the story. Now, if you count Alliance and Banquet, the other forgeries she's made before now, then she's killed off most of my family in horrible ways, over and over again. Of course I'd want to complain. However, all of her works are known for being, in both form and level of completion, the closest tales to those written by Ushinomiya Maria herself. In particular, Naku Kuro's first forgery, Banquet of the Golden Witch, was a depiction so complete that it even included Ushinomiya Eva's escape to Kuwadorian. People wondered whether this might be the true story of the Rokujima, and it even made it onto the talk shows. Yeah, those titles should sound very familiar to you. So far, all of these tales have been nothing more than electronic text on the web. However, people will eventually realize that Naku Koro is actually Hachijo Toya. When that happens, these tales will become associated with that bizarre Hachijo, and no one will think of them as mere fan creations. People will probably start wondering if this might actually be a third message bottle she found and released under the guise of a story she herself wrote. When that happens, these stories will probably seem even more bizarre and credible. You are cunning, aren't you? Why do you say that? You're doing this to make your forgeries more mysterious and more credible. And what do you mean by credible? Once you've gained credibility, your forgeries will rise to the level of truth. Rise to the level of truth? How foolish. Such a thing is unnecessary for my works. Is that because your works are the truth and not mere forgeries? Correct. They are the truth, so there's no need for them to rise into anything. You aren't Maria One-chan, and you weren't on Rokujima on that day. So how can you be so absurd as to call this the truth? Missy, you're getting a bit too stirred up. Shut up! How can you call this stirred up? Anju realized that she'd let her emotions get control over her. She let out a sigh and shrugged. Your reason for coming here. It wasn't to yell at me for murdering your family several times within my forgeries, correct? Hachijo had been smiling at Anju kindly, but in a condescending manner. Or else, like a mother might watch over a very small child. Anji realized this and was unable to suppress her irritation. Apparently, Amakusa could tell that Anji was getting worked up. He joked around with her for a bit so that they could start the conversation over again from the beginning. The thing you came here to hear, it's the truth that I've reached, is it not? Why are you so sure that you've reached the truth? Because I've understood all of the tales. And I'm asking why you're so sure about that. Do you think the sun ever revolved around the earth? Hachijo suddenly started talking about the geocentric model. Anji was about to tell her not to answer questions with more questions, but she quickly realized what Hachijo meant. Humans used to support geocentrism. However, that theory has been disproved in the modern age. Does this mean that, at the instant the theory was denied, the sun stopped moving and the earth started revolving around the sun? Of course not. The truth doesn't change based on what humans believe. It's the same with this case. Your denying my truth amounts to the same thing. Excuse me, I need some water. Several scholars before Galileo proposed the heliocentric model. However, it was hard to objectively prove it using the scientific techniques available at the time. However, that didn't change the fact that it was the truth. The truth. And yet, it moves. So, you're saying the truth is still the truth, whether you can prove it or not? Correct. In the future, when the full truth finally becomes known, people will look back and realize that I had already discovered it. Apparently, Anja just couldn't stand Hachijo's attitude. She kept getting irritated, and every time, Amakusa would joke around until she settled down again. However, there could be no mistake that Hachijo was a genius, and had used her extraordinary intuition to form a most interesting perspective on the events that had occurred on that island. That was why Anji had wanted to contact Naku Koro and hear about her viewpoint. Still, she really was lucky to have been granted this meeting. Anja hadn't been absolutely sure that Naku Koro was Hachijo Toya. She hadn't thought that the publishing company would really contact the author. And most of all, she hadn't dreamed that the mysterious masked author would grant her an interview under such short notice. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that the sum of the events leading to this meeting made for nothing short of a miracle. Yes, a miracle. After all, in most cases, I don't get contacted by the publishing company at all and leave for Nijima the next day. Ooh, alternate timeline? I left for Nijima. Then I went on to Rokanjima. Then I gave One-chan Sakutaro. Huh? Why would I have Sakutaro? My memory of the future is all muddled. My head hurts. Hachijo said something about showing Anja something good, rose from the sofa, and headed for the study desk. When she turned her back, Amakusa asked Anja, who seemed to be troubled about something, if she was okay. Hey, Amakusa,
How long have I been here? What? You've been acting weird for a while now. What's going on? I can't remember how long I've been sitting here. Are you still sleepy? That's not it. I mean, I managed to get an appointment with Professor Otsuki, but the publishing company never got back to me about Itoi Kukuro. And in the end, I spent the whole of the day unable to accomplish anything. I thought... Huh? Amakusa, I thought you went to go get that large black bag. That's right. Just before we left for Nijima, Amakusa and I briefly parted ways. He said something about getting a weapon from an acquaintance of his, and he went to go get that large black bag. Wasn't that today? What am I talking about? I mean, didn't I go to Nijima, meet Captain Kawabata, and inside the bed shop... Huh? What? Is something wrong? Did my confusion and uncertainty make me sigh out loud? Even though Hachijo's back was to me, she slowly turned around and smiled as though she had peered into my heart. No, it's nothing. Strange memories, ones that even I can't understand. I tried to hide my confusion, but for some reason, Hachijo had a strange glint in her eyes as though she could read my mind. I have revived and killed your family several times within various forgeries, almost as a witch might. Reviving them and killing them whenever you feel like. Endlessly. Sounds almost like Beatrice, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So, please follow the lead of all those people on the web, and consider the possibility that I might be a witch. She took a thickly packed brown envelope out of a locked drawer. It appeared to be filled to bursting with pages of printed out text. Perhaps this was a manuscript for one of her works. And the neat letters written with a fountain pen on the envelope spelled out the word Dawn. There is no forgery by the name of Dawn, which must mean... Anji could tell. This was a new one. Hachijo's newest, unreleased forgery. Dawn of the Golden Witch. For one such as I, who knows everything is boring. However, I don't dislike letting the ignorant read my works to see what kind of reaction they have. And so, I want you to read it. You want me to read your newest work, which you've created as the new Endless Witch? Correct, child of man. Whether you resent it or admire it, you can help me forget my illness for a time. Let's put an end to this farce, shall we? Who are you? I don't remember ever meeting you like this. Yes, I did try to contact Hachijo Toya. However, in the end, I never got a chance to meet her. In other words, all of this is a falsehood. Whose piece am I this time? Sorry, but if you think you can tame Ushirami Anja so easily, you're making a big mistake. Yes, I'd hoped you'd be this interesting. She finally couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing. Gradually, the space around them seemed to fill with a strange purple mist. The room itself seemed to twist and bend. Her figure also twisted, and, after transforming through something that couldn't be described, she took the form of just what she had called herself, a witch. Splendid. You did well to see through my trick. It seems I'm the type that witches just love to cling to. All of you have the same condescending tone towards other people. I figured you were a witch right away. The novelist sitting on the sofa was nowhere to be seen. Even Anja's bodyguard, who was supposed to be around at times like this, was gone. There was only a non-human figure relaxing in a large, ornate rocking chair. I find you to be truly interesting, child of man. Your charming nature is the perfect thing to alleviate my boredom. Yeah, well, I don't see anything charming about this. Why am I alive? Wasn't I killed in a pretty nasty way for breaking the rule about revealing my name? Well, I did doubt that those people would just let me go so easily. What kind of farce will I be forced to go along with this time? I really don't care. I'll just do whatever I can within the bounds of the role they give me. Whatever I can to help Oni-chan. Yeah, she does have a little, sash with a medal, which is interesting. Of course, I understand. Even if he wins, he'll never come back to me. Even so, I'll struggle on. I'll make sure Oni-chan comes back to the me of that day. No need to lose your temper. I'm not asking you to be at peace. Then why did you summon me here? Don't tell me you want me to read this new story or whatever it is you've written. That's it exactly. I do not want you to be my peace. I have always been a mere observer, and I have no intention of sticking my neck into their game. I don't get it. What is it you want from me? Be an observer for me. An observer of the fragments Beatrice has woven. An observer? I don't really know what you mean, but no deal. In the past, I observed the fragments through Battler's eyes. However, now that he has succeeded the position of Game Master, he is not a suitable observer. I am following this tale with true and earnest intentions. It would be such a waste to observe it through the eyes of Battler as he is now, like reading a detective novel backwards. Oni-chan is the Game Master? What on earth are you talking about? Of course, you don't know. You want to know, don't you? I too wish to know something. What kind of tale will Battler weave now that he has taken the position of Game Master? Furthermore, I wish to search for the truth Battler reached as part of my own mental journey. My illness affects me greatly, gravely even. If I do not think, I cannot even keep my heart beating. So, you want me to read your new picture book aloud to you? You might as well interpret it that way. In exchange, you will also be able to take part in your own journey of the mind. I do believe that even you have yet to reach the truth. I think you want to continue on the journey to find that truth. I don't owe you anything. Don't push your luck. I can be lenient at times, but that is not usually the case. Anja hadn't yet reached the truth either. Though she knew that the game was little more than a toy for the witches to play with, she wanted it to resume, so that she could follow the tale and close it on the king called Truth. I might follow the tale so that I can find the truth myself.
but I have no obligation to read it aloud until the end for your sake. Understand? Anja was willing to read the story aloud, but she could quit any time if this witch made her mad. She was, in effect, warning the witch not to annoy her. Of course, you can call this a picture book, but to me, it is the only medicine for a fatal illness. I cannot take that medicine without you to assist me. In other words, this is a mutually beneficial arrangement. So, you're telling me to read you a book until you fall asleep, and in exchange, you'll let me read it too. Is that right? Precisely. If you are willing to accept, I shall ask that you become my reader for a time. Well, it's nice to get my own title, but all you really want me to do is read books, right? Becoming my reader means the same as becoming my familiar. In other words, what is done against you will be done against me. I will not permit anyone to disrupt my only interest, that being to read the rest of Beatrice's tale. I will not let Burncastle, Lambda Delta, or even Beatrice force anything upon you. This witch, who seemed to have an almost divine quality to her, spoke both quietly and forcefully. There was no threat in her words. However, even so, it was clear that she was on a different level than Burncastle and the other witches, and not at all to be taken lightly. So you'll offer me protection if I agree to read your book? Of course. What I want is for you to read aloud to me. I will not spare any who attempt to stand in the way of that. If my attitude seems arrogant to you, allow me to apologize, child of man. It may not seem so, but I am speaking to you with the utmost respect. Yeah, probably. I get the feeling that even with that witch-like style of speech, is the most respect you've shown anyone in the last few centuries. When you're reading a book, do you tell it, "Thank you very much," before flipping through the pages? I guess it is like that. I understand. Just by agreeing to have a conversation with Anja, she was showing an incredible amount of respect and willingness to compromise. Anja shrugged, but she also nodded to show her consent. Sure, I'll be a reader. I see that you showed a ton of respect just by asking for my consent first. You understand well, child of man. My name's Anja, not child of man or whatever. Very well. As proof of my respect for you, I will acknowledge your name. For her, acknowledging a human's name was like acknowledging the names of all the leaves scattered across the ground. So, her acknowledging Anja's name was a miracle. No, it was immensely good fortune. From this point forth, Anja will serve as reader and Miko to the Witch of Theater Going, Featherine Augustus Aurora. Until you finish reading, I shall bring calamity to all who attempt to hinder your task. When the Witch of Theater Going, Featherine, spoke this, Anja was wrapped in a bright light. Anja didn't feel any particular change herself, but she definitely had been given something that only non-humans could sense. It signified that from this point onwards, Anja would be attached to the Witch of Theater Going. That didn't mean that Anja would gain some sort of special power, but at the very least,
It probably meant that anyone wanting to cause her harm would first have to take on Featherine herself. Like you said, Cat, it's a big mouthful of a name. Your name is pretty long. It sounds like some ancient Roman person. What should I call you? Those not familiar with me call me Augustus Aurora. After all the respect you've shown me, it's only fitting that I respond in kind. I'll call you Featherine. Any problems? None at all. For an ailing witch such as myself, even being called by my first name will be an experience to be treasured and pondered over. Child of man. I have a name. It's Anju. Even conversations like this are nice every once in a while. Anju, my Miko. Anju accepted her role. She would observe this tale with the witch of theater going. The curtain was rising on the sixth tale. And that's where we're gonna leave it for today. The Great Detective knows. Yeah, it's this arc starts off with a bit of a roller coaster. In a fun way, I think. So yeah. I'm really looking forward to this, of course. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, it does get a little wild, but like in a good way. It'll be fun. And Kat, congrats on the theory, which you immediately were proven correct on. Pretty much, so yeah. That's always fun when that happens. Yes, there are so many characters at this point. There are oh so many. There are like it's 40 plus. What I will quickly do is show you what a Miko is. Miko is often translated as Shrine Maiden. Traditionally dressed in white and red, Miko act as assistants at Shinto shrines. In addition to helping out with the day-to-day running of the shrine, including cleaning the premises and selling charms and fortunes, Miko also performs ceremonial dances and assists priests in Shinto rituals and performances. Yeah. And so Anja is the Miko and reader of Feathery. And my avatar, I can now reveal, is called the Reader of the Golden Witch. So, because I'm doing the reading. And yeah, that's where that comes from. And now you kind of know what that means. Alright. I'm going to bop us over to the new end screen for this arc. I hope you like it, even though it's pretty simple. But you know, it's effective, and it fits. And I'm going to change it a little bit next time. Just keep an eye out for that, because I was going to change the text, but I forgot. I can neither confirm nor deny that, Cat. So, you're just gonna have to
wait to find out what it all means. Because so far, all the end screens have had something relevant to the story to them. Some even spoilers to a degree, but because it's, you know, it's a vague little thingy, you're not gonna know until it actually happens. Yes, really. From the very, very beginning. Like the telephone in the last one was a reference to the man of 19 years ago because of the phone calls. The one for Banquet, the smashed rose, was for you know, the trapped Beatrice that fell off the cliff. And so on and so on. So yeah. It's thank you, I try. I really do. I put a lot of effort into these. And then there's also the duct tape, which of course refers to Erica, because she's bizarre. But you know, that's we're gonna find out the extent of that in this arc, and oh boy, it's gonna be a little uncomfortable. That's why she gets her own contact warning officially this time around. Yeah, maybe I made them a little too subtle, but you know, it's fine. Alright. Let me... Yeah, she's terrible. I love to hate her. Yes. I will be back next week with more Umineko. We're gonna just keep going, keeping on. Because it's been great so far. And on Monday, I'm going to test out a new art program. It's not new to, like, the world. It's new to me. Called Rebel, I believe. So I'm gonna do an art stream on Monday. And I will upload this VOD and highlight it on Twitch as quickly as I can. So yeah, that's gonna be the plan for the upcoming week. And all that's left is for me to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for watching the VODs or the videos. And I hope to see you next time. Have a great evening / day / whenever this is. And yeah, thank you. Goodbye.